Yeah. Sits unoccupied for a couple days. Look at here, we got squatters moving in on us. Look at the eyes on that, will you? Just look at it. Look at that thing. Noisy bastards. So, picked up some supplies. Got me a couple of blue buckets. Scoop up the old kitty litter in. Got me 3 new bags of the special kitty. Look at that kitty. Isn't it special? Special kitty. 3 more bags of the special kitty so I can mop up the gigantic oil spill from the scientific experiment earlier in the week. Yeah, scientific process. So look at here, then you got another big slick here where it dripped out of the freaking tailpipe, where the mad scientist genius decided to pump all of his oil. It's alright. Ain't but 15 bucks a gallon. Just dump it down the drain. Anyway, so I work on cleaning up this Valdez Jr. spill. Then I already got a bucket full of stuff here. I don't know what I'm going to do with. But that was the first load. Most of the oil's actually in there. So, what else we got here? So yeah, we got turbo laying here. Still in pieces. Got to do a little decarbonating on that. I went ahead and ordered a kit. I'm going to go ahead and redo it. So I got to get all torn down and cleaned up. I don't know if I get to that today or not. It's really windy. May or may not. Definitely got to deal with the oil slick. Look at this here. Huh? Got me some wire brushes. Got the wire brush kit. It was pretty cheap. A couple of bucks. Picked up this one here for a few bucks. Look at that. Huh? Look at that. And look here, you got the comfort grip and everything. So you got the wire brush with the comfort grip. Then I picked this one up for $1.50. Look at that. Huh? Figure I could use it to help get the old kitty litter up. Special kitty litter. Excuse me. And then look at that. Look at this, will you? Pick these up for the decarbonation operation on the turbo. So we went from no wire brushes to lots of wire brushes. I got me a couple of cans of the carb cleaner to help clean up the turbo. So yeah, the stage is set. Holy slicks, Batman. Oil's not supposed to go there. Look at that. That's my tailpipe, for crying out loud. Look at that. Holy crap. Look at that, will you? Man, I made a mess there. That is a serious mess. And then, if we follow it towards the front of the truck here, look at here, it's leaking here too. Oh, maybe I can just jack the pipe up real good, make it all run out where I've already got it open. Otherwise I'm going to have to take this clamp loose, slip that joint apart. That's more crap I got to line up and put back together again. So anyway, boys and girls, let that be a lesson to you. Don't do that. Crap. Look at that crap. Put the mad scientist glasses on, get stupid ideas. Every time. Look at that mess, will you? So, I guess find a way to clean that up. Never gonna get the driveway clean as long as the truck's dripping on it. Never, 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 never. Yeah. It's not as much as it looks like it is. in that pan here. Let's go get a jack on the other end so we can get it all to run down this way. I don't know if I should flip this apart or not. Probably. Really, I'd probably pull the muffler and see if I can get it cleaned out. Otherwise, it's just gonna frickin' smoke for days if the muffler's full of oil. Won't even know I fixed it, even if I did. I'll think, oh well, it's still smoking. It ain't fixed, but it's just oil from before, from the scientific experiment. So yeah, there's that. Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, took another vacation day today. Living the dream, baby. So obviously I didn't get the turbo done during my days off. I did manage to mow the lawn. That's a good thing. Got that out of the way. Can't let the place look like a trailer park or something. Right. So, you know, got that done. Ended up taking my exhaust pipes, taking my exhaust apart in the back of the truck to get the oil out of the exhaust where I messed it up nicely. This is my muffler. And I soaked it in some dish soap. Actually, I sprayed it down with all the simple green we had left. A third of a bottle or whatever. Used all that up on it. And then I soaked it in some dish soap and water in this bucket here. And so I stood it up thinking it was just going to dry, you know. And look at here. All this oil drained out of it that I didn't get with the dish soap and the simple green. How about that fun stuff? So I might have helped myself out a lot by letting that drain out like that. It might lessen the amount of time that it's going to take to burn all that oil out of there once I get it put back together. So yeah, there's that. And then while I was playing around trying to get the exhaust apart, I missed another step over here. And heck, let's see here. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I just pushed down on the tailpipe because I had the clamps loose and I was kind of trying to twist it and I forgot about this stupid rubber hanger here. So I did a nice job of breaking that in half. So I've had to order a new one of those. Fun. So yeah, I've got that tailpipe section cleaned up and it's in the truck right now, safekeeping. And so I got muffler goes there onto there, so the other tailpipe actually goes on above that. So yeah, and then I took the hanger loose here, so this would hang down and kind of drain out a little bit. Yeah, I think we're doing some good. I made some progress getting the oil spill cleaned up. Had a little bit of rain come through, so this is water here. But yeah, this one here where it was draining out of the tailpipe is just about soft up. Probably can sweep this up today, maybe later today. We'll see. Yeah. Recovery efforts are moving along nicely. So today's project, like I said, we'll get the turbo disassembled and cleaned up, and then I've got to take all this stuff loose again. This degas bottle's got to come down and lay down in here. And then the valve cover's got to come off. The thickums got to come out, the fuel injection control module right there. That silver piece there. That's going to have to come off, get out of the way. The bracketry's going to have to come off. So I got a bunch of tear down I could do just to get ready for next weekend when the parts should be here and I'll have some more time to work on it. So yeah. Anita had an interview today, so I didn't go to work so that she could have the car, do what she needed to do. So take full advantage of the time, get some of this stuff done. So this is what it looks like once you get your thickum out of the way. And this front bracket here, that bolts onto some of the valve cover bolts. Got rear bracket back here. So your fuel injector connectors are right there. Oh darn, you can get the shot. There it is. There's the one we're looking for, I think. So, two ways you can get those off of there. I only recommend one way. Now one way is you can push down on that little metal spring. But I did that and didn't fully disengage it, and I actually broke one of the latches. And I think it was on this one. Interesting how we had the problem with this one, right? So save yourself some pain and just go ahead and get your long nose pliers like this here, and just pull your ring off, pull that metal deal off, and then you can slip your connector right off. You can put it back together after you're done. You'll be glad you did. It's better than breaking them. Alright, well anyway, I just want to throw that tip out there. So that's what I'll be trying to do, is get all these bolts off, get the wires off, get all that fun stuff out the way, so that probably try to get it down to like 2 bolts, maybe holding it on there. So when I get ready to do it, I only have to take out those last couple and I'm off to the races. Alright, so looking at this pile of bolts here, you can see we did a little tear down here. Let's pick them out. We got the brackets off, and Milwaukee died. I forgot to charge that. My fault. Not Milwaukee's fault, my fault. Anyway, I got all the bolts out except for this one over here. Should be fairly simple to get to. And this one right back here. So we're going to leave those on until it's time to come apart. But yeah, we definitely saved ourselves a good hour worth of labor for the day when we get ready to put it together. That might mean the difference between getting it done when the sun's still shining and doing it after dark. So I'm down with that. Okay. So yeah. Cool, that's all done. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, you get those, just take those little spring clips off of there, and that way you don't have to worry. If you can see on this one here what they hook into, they hook right onto the little connector for the fuel injector, and yeah, it's real easy to break the end of it off here. Find a way to point at it without blocking it with my fingers. It's real easy to break that little ear off there, and then you'd have issues with reliable connections, as I can demonstrate here. What I did when I did my dummy plugs, I screwed mine up here. So I wonder how much of my bad injector issue here on number 8 has to do with the fact the connector's broken. So that's one of the reasons I didn't argue too loudly or too long about changing that fuel injector. It's something I've been wanting to get rid of anyways, put a good connector on that one. And so yeah, it's gonna be good. We'll get that connected up and everything will be lovely. Yeah. So this is ready to go. Whenever I get ready to put the parts in, I just pull those 2 bolts and we'll be ready to take the valve cover off. So that's lovely. That's about all we got to do here. One thing I could do, but I don't know if I'm going to, I could pull this drain tube out and go ahead and replace the O-rings and get that ready to rock and roll. I don't know if I'll fool with that or not. I'm leaning towards not. But, you know, really, we have been kind of pulling on it and everything. I suppose we'd feel pretty stupid if we had a leak and we didn't bother to change the O-rings. I guess I'll put new O-rings on it. I bought them. So, yeah, this just slides out. Pretty simple. You don't have to pull this pedestal, as I recall. You just pull it out. And it slides in right here. Here's the other end of it, I believe. So we'll slide that out and put up new O-rings on both ends. Some oil on. I'll wait till I get the oil. I haven't bought the oil yet. I'm waiting on. I'm prioritizing my spending because I don't have a large cash flow at this time. And so I'm trying to get the parts ordered that I need to order. And I'm waiting to get the stuff I can just go down and pick up down at Walmart or AutoZone or wherever. Just saving that for later. So anyway, point being, we've got this ready to rock and roll. So we just bag up these, well, I have a peanut butter jar to keep all the nuts and bolts in so I don't lose them. So I'll get that done with all this stuff here, and we'll be ready to move on to fooling with the turbo, I think. I'm not 100% sure we're going to get the hood down without an issue. So I'll probably just go ahead and hang this back up on its plastic clips. I probably won't put the bolts back in, but I'm going to hang it back up on its plastic clips, just to avoid the possibility of an issue. So, yeah, that goes in there like so. And then we'll just hang that back up there. And that'll be just fine. That'll hold her till we need to work on it again, then I'll lay it back down. So, off we go to the next step. Quick review before I put the tools away. Alright, I had a pair of long nose pliers that I used to pull the little metal retainer clips off the injector connectors. Had a wobbly 10, or excuse me, a wobbly 12. This particular one is MAC. And it is a XUPG, or XUP6 maybe? I don't see any other part numbers on it. Sorry if that's not the right one. You know, if I don't say it, somebody's going to ask. So, try to help you out here. And then we just got a 3-inch 3/8 extension connected to that. And that's what I was able to get that back bolt with. And of course I was in the midst of it all, and the Milwaukee 3/8 drive cordless went dead on me because I didn't bother to charge it yesterday, the day before. What else did we use here? Oh, used a deep 10mm socket. Yeah, this particular one is a Mac. It's a Mac XD P6. Let's see here. They all say the same thing? No, they all say a different thing. Okay, that might be the part number, huh? Yeah, you got XUP6 on the wobbly. XUP6. And then XDP6 on the 3/8, or on the 10mm. I also had a 12mm. I used a deep one, but I don't think it was absolutely necessary if you use the right extension. The 12mm is also says XDP6, so I think our theory just got sunk there, so that might be the part number. Anyway, 12mm deep socket, or 12mm socket. I didn't end up using those over there. I did use the pliers for the degas bottle clamps. This is the hold down that's in the back, goes on the ficum. So that lays on top of the ficum, and then the two bolts go through here. You have studs in the front, bolts in the back. And if you get confused about orientation, put the connectors towards the rear of the truck and you'll be alright. Let's see here. Yeah, I didn't end up using these other extensions either, I don't think. So, yeah, pretty much you could do the job with what we have here. I had this 8mm, this is actually a gear wrench, I believe. Yeah, gear wrench brand. But yeah, it's just wobbly, and it's got a ratchet box. And, I mean, if you're going to have one of these trucks, get you a set of these. God, you'll be so thankful you did. And then I used a 10. I had the 12. I don't think I actually used it, but that's what their sizes they are. You got 10mm on the little nuts for the brackets, and there's a hold down for the oh, what do they call that? EBP, exhaust back pressure valve, or switch sensor. Yeah, so 8mm fits the Fickum bolts, and I just use this gear wrench. I find that it's kind of compact back there, cramped, and you can just get this gear wrench and you can bend it as you need to make clearance. It works pretty well. I mean, it's not as fast as if you could get the perfect socket extension, wobbly slash extension, whatever, and go buzz it off, but you'll get through it. You'll get by with that. Anyway, then of course I had my 3/8 drive flex handle ratchet right here. I'm not going to bother to give you a part number because I don't think it's even legit. So pretty much any tools, any hand tools would work. This is just what I used. Alright, anyway, I hope that helps somebody. So we got our exhaust side turbine housing here. And it's got these little vanes in it. They all need to be cleaned up. They're not bad. They're a little chalky. So they all go right there, I guess. What's really bad, turn that where I can see. What's really bad is right around here, got a lot of carbon in it. It's going to make it difficult to put it back together. We're going to have to get all that out for sure. We definitely want to clean this up. I don't see any excessive wear here. Of course, would I recognize it if I did, but I don't see a whole lot of excessive wear or anything, so I think we're okay there. On the unison ring, no tools. Here we go. So the unison ring right here, we want to look for any kind of excessive wear in all these. And I'm not seeing that to be an issue. So, yeah, let's clean all that up. So I got an assortment of wire brushes and stuff like that. And I think for the vanes, we're just going to get one of these ones here with like a brass, maybe a nylon. No, we need a brass one. So you always want to put your safety glasses on whenever you're going to do something like this, sure. Yeah, I think between the carb cleaner and some of that brush action, we'll get them all cleaned up, no sweat. Let me scooch over a little more here. Show you what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of laying these out here on this shop rag right here. I won't pretend to know what I'm doing, but this is how I'm going to clean them. How's that sound? So we could just be real with each other here. Not like most people, I watch YouTube videos and figure it out as I go. There ain't a person on earth that didn't have a first time doing something. So yeah, right here where this vein would be trying to turn here, I would imagine that buildup there would kind of cause some issues. So we're going to get all that out. So we just work at it for a while. What else can I do? Well, I'm going to go against what I said because that was just too good. So let's get this bad boy out and let's see if we can get this back part here done. Now, let's see. You can see here. And so you might be able to see. We got rid of all the carbon buildup that was over here in the shape of the veins. And it's still not smooth to the touch, but you know, it's not brand new. I don't think we can get all that off without probably causing more damage. So my vote would be to leave that be. We remove the carbon. Now if we go further, we might just tear something up. So let's go back to the other wheel. We'll go around this again. I think that can get cleaner than what it is. Yeah, I was messing up here. Don't put your hand over the vents. Overheat the drill. So you got to steady it, try to find another place to hold it. I just remembered I actually have a deal that fits on there. Let me go get it. Yeah, that's a heck of a lot better than what we started with. And so, let's wash it off a little bit and call it done so we don't waste all day on one thing. This is the one we've been looking for right here, the last one. Alright, here's what we got. Unison rings cleaned up, vanes are cleaned up, look how nicely it moves. So, we're good there. Coolness. You bag this up, keep it clean, and then we can start working on the other half. I need a bag. There we go. Yeah, keep it from getting filled up with dust and whatnot while we're waiting on parts and cleaning up other stuff. Alrighty. Now we can move on to this, huh? What size what fits that? Pretty thrashed actually. Get these out. See, these are 12.8 millimeter cap screws here. So you're gonna need a 12-point socket. And of course, the only one I've got is 1/4" drive. I thought we'd get by with it. I soaked down the threads yesterday with some WD. So let's see what happens. Yes, dear. Oh, look at that. Interesting. So, looky here. Now, could this be our culprit? Look at it. Now, look at it. Look at it. Look at that trail of oil. Right here. It leaked out of there. So it's been leaking out the front seal. At least it looks like it has. So maybe, just maybe, we found our culprit. Awesome. So okay, so from what I've learned, and I could have gotten erroneous information. What I've learned is you want to make a mark on the shaft. It's actually already. You want to make a mark on the shaft, the nut, and the wheel, so you can line them all up the same way as it came apart. So it's something we can scribe with, and we'll do just that, I guess. Let's make sure it isn't already marked somewhere. Now look at that, isn't that interesting? How that oil just runs right there. Maybe that's our issue, huh? I mean, it's normal to find some anyway. Maybe it has nothing to do with it. You get some from the crankcase ventilation. I just find it a little interesting because the way it runs straight down there. Well, good morning, folks. It is Sunday, Father's Day. How about that fun stuff? Got my turbo in pieces here on my bench. Cleaned at it quite a bit last week. And then I ran out of parts cleaner. So I have resupplied. I got a few more cans of carburetor cleaner. And I got some engine degreaser to clean up our oil spill mess that's still all over the engine frame of the truck. So we can work at that once she's back together. Yeah, so this part here I didn't clean up. This is the actual wheels of the turbo. This is the exhaust side, of course, covered with carbon. And this is the part that blows into the engine, the impeller. It's got the bearings and spacer still on the shaft here. Right here. Bearings and spacer on there. And those are the parts that came with the kit. So here's the rebuild kit. So yeah, I got a couple of O-rings. I got new bearings and seals. I didn't get as many O-rings as I had hoped to get, or expected to get, so we're going to be reusing one of them. It's actually in a peanut butter jar here. Anyway, yeah, this is the O-ring here. I'm not overly concerned about it. It looks like it's in good shape. You know, this stuff is designed to be reused if possible, so I would feel better about it if I had a new O-ring for this, but I'm not going to fret and worry it too much. We'll just see if it works out. If it leaks, we'll just have to fix it, right? But there might be a chance of getting this thing back on the road this week. So even though it's Father's Day, and maybe it's not the most appropriate thing to do, I'm going to be working on it today. Yeah, so here. This is the front of the turbo housing. I wire brushed it to kind of shiny it up a little bit, pretty it up a little bit there, and it wasn't bad, but it did have some caked on dirt, grease, and whatnot. And I cleaned the inside out pretty well, and hit it again with another blast of the carb cleaner. And this is the exhaust side. It was all carboned up before, and so I wire brushed it real well and cleaned it up with carb cleaner. And if you just notice here, see this part here moves through a computer controlled lever that's actuated by hydraulic pressure, controlled by this valve right here. And that's where the computer, where you hook up the electrical line right there. But the electrical connector. This valve here, see, it doesn't work quite the way I imagined it. I kind of figured it would be a electric solenoid, but it's not. It actually controls hydraulic pressure. And a piston moves in this bore right here. Right here. That actuates this deal right here. And it turns. And it actually makes the turbo effectively change its size according to the speed of the engine, basically. So starting out at low RPM, you'll want a smaller area to work with, and then as the turbo speed increases, you'll want more area so that you can increase the volume, right? So it's able to adjust itself accordingly. And so you get the small turbo when you at low RPM for better throttle response, and a larger turbo for greater total boost capability at higher RPM. So it tries to be the best of both worlds. It succeeds to an extent when it works right. And then let's see here, what else. So this is the new fuel injector here. Yeah, this is the new fuel injector. So we'll be putting that in the truck hopefully today. And so that's basically the plan here. We're going to finish getting the turbo cleaned up. And so this is called the bearing housing. turbo housing. So as you can see, I still got some oil and stuff on there. I want to get all that washed out real well. I don't want any debris in there, because Powerstrokes do not like debris inside them. Bad things happen. We'll just leave it at that. So we'll get all that all cleaned up and hopefully rebuilt. Hopefully that'll solve our problem here between these two pieces. Put her back together and maybe, just maybe, be able to drive it this week. So yeah, we get to play with all the shiny tools. That's going to be fun. And we will hopefully be building a working truck that doesn't smoke all the time. Well, you know, we had a pretty ambitious goal here today, but I did get the turbo built. Hey, look here. Turns and everything. How about that? It's always good when they still turn after you put them back together. Anyway, hadn't done one of those before, so I check that off the list. First things to do, right? So, I guess tomorrow, weather permitting, we'll get on the truck and that ejector in, and we'll put this back on, and when we put everything else back together. So, Lord willing, we'll be fixed.